Okay, how you doing, everybody? This is Rock. And what else do I go by? Papa Rock. I also go by Divorce Strategist. I also go by Rock LaManna, the author. I go by Rock LaManna, the entrepreneur. All that stuff. Well, today it's a hot day here in Florida, and I'm traveling to the Midwest tomorrow. And I'm more or less taking my daily walk, thinking about what I'm going to do in the Midwest. I spent about a week up there, and I'll talk to my father, who's 100, and brothers and sisters, my kids, my grandkids, stuff like that. And so I'm more or less a thinker. I'm a strategist all my life. My parents taught me a lot about work ethic, our faith, dedication, and everything was basically faith and family, and in our case, being Italian, food. So now I'm at the point where I'm in my 70s and I'm saying, okay, what's next, man? What's next? You know, I've had a 50-year career, I've written a book, I got other things going on, I'm on YouTube, I'm on TikTok. My grandkids are asking me at a young age, Papa Rock, why are you on YouTube? Why are you on TikTok? And they're asking me questions about my past at 6 years old. And I'm like, wow. You know, and that's one of the reasons why I'm on YouTube, to leave my legacy on video. Seriously. And I have my own books, my guides over the last 50 years of what I did and my legacies. And now I'm at the point in my life that I'm thinking about my health, my wealth, and my hope. You know, you can basically get very depressed. You can get lonely. You can get lost as you get older, because you're looking for your purpose. And I have a father that's 100 years old, and he's got a routine. He's out there 4 or 5 days. He's on the treadmill. He's moving all the time, and that to me is a role model. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today is, you know, how I've basically built my foundation, starting with my mother, my father, my mentors, my coaches, and so on. And then I call them pillars. Okay, and once I hit my foundation, then I had to make a choice. I had to pick the right horse in many ways. Your spouse, your career, your education, you know, all the things that you wanted to do. And you just never know what God's got planned for you. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm at the point where I'm saying, okay, what's next? Now that I see my grandkids at great colleges and my younger grandkids that are being well educated because of my sons. My sons have children which are my grandchildren. And I always put my 3 kids on an incentive of some sort as a single parent. And I was in sales, and I was very ambitious, very driven. And I wanted my kids to stay out of trouble. That's the bottom line. Stay out of trouble. Don't pick the wrong horse. Don't do all the shit that I did. You know? And now that I'm in my 70s, they're in their late 40s, mid 40s and late 40s. It's done. I'm done. It's like a maturity. So going back to the foundations and the pillars, you got your foundation. And the next is your mastery. What is the mastery of your life? And in my mastery, I spent 50 years in business. 50 years in business. And I received professional wisdom, mentors, people that really cared for me to be successful. And I stuck to it. Okay? I stuck to it. And then the third pillar is the transition. The transition, because in my case, 50 years, not at one job. I've had 8 different careers, 8 different missions in my life. And now I'm going into another. And I'm thinking about it more and more because I achieved basically everything I wanted when it came down to wealth. But now you got to really work at health, you see, as you get older, to be spry. Not everyone lives to 100 like my father may be, you know. I'm in my 70s. I got 10 brothers and sisters ranging from 79 to 60, 8 boys and 3 girls, and we're all alive. My mother passed away at 94. I have a good chance of living another 20 years, so I want to do something with my life. I want to pass on the wisdom and so on. You know what I'm saying? And then basically, you know, the pillars, I know the last pillar is legacy. The legacy of my life. What am I going to leave behind? I can leave money. I can leave money as a legacy, but I don't want to be known as just money. I want to be known as that I made impact. Not only on my kids, on my grandkids and the generations after that. And so today I was just kind of thinking, you know what? I'm thinking about my health. I'm thinking about the wealth, how I'm going to pass that on. But in the meantime, it's really about the hope that I have. I have hope. And I know people struggle with that because I do. I get lonely. You know? I've been married a couple times. I've divorced a couple times. And now I'm at the point now, do I even want to date? It's a struggle. It's a struggle. However, I've been really blessed and fortunate that I've been with a large family. I've had friends, I've had clients that I've kept in contact with, but people are dying. People are dying. And I look at the United States, I look at everything that's happening. And you know what? I'm an old man. You know, I'm under Social Security, I'm under Medicare, I'm under retirement strategies and planning. See what I mean? And my grandkids and my kids asked me something very important that has been a lot of fun with. And when you're asked to be part of your grandkids and your kids, that's a real plus, man. And guess what it is? You're going to laugh. Fantasy football. Exactly. And there's a lot of trash talk. I get beat up all the time, but I'm having a good time with it. You follow me? So, anyway, that's what I'm trying to do here now. You know, I'm in Florida. It's hot. I'll be leaving tomorrow. And, you know, everything's a plan. It's got to be organized. As you get older, you know, you got to plan your dates. You got to plan what you're going to do. You're going to have to pack. You're going to have to not forget something. And when you're alone, I mean, I actually have an agenda. I have a list that tells me, Rock, remind me. And I'll be gone for 7 days. So guess what? I have 7 days. And I have something to look forward to, you know, which is exciting. To see the grandkids, to see my children, to see my father, to see my family, to see my friends. 7 days isn't enough, but you know what? You make it count. You make it count. And I'm thankful that I'm healthy enough that I can get on the plane without assistance, you know? And I'm always concentrating on my health, that I hope I'm healthy, that I can get on the plane and fly up there and rent a car and, you know? I go to a hotel usually because I want my privacy. And then I plan my day. And I love talking about stories and history and where you at this point in your life, you know? So today's message basically is, hey, you know, I look at it this way. If you have hope and you could pray like I do for relevancy, and also, God, what is my purpose at my age? How can I help other people? I want to thank you for giving me the health and the wealth to be able to be independent and free. Not everybody's got that. So I want to enjoy every day. And that's basically my message today. And, you know, I go on YouTube, I go on TikTok, I know I don't have to do this, but as I mentioned before, this is for my legacy, for my grandkids and the generations afterwards that say, you know, Papa Rock, you know, this is what he gave us, his voice, his values, ideas, hope. Here's another thing, opportunity, like I received from my parents. So I want to thank everybody for that. I'll be up in the Midwest, and I'll be probably doing a YouTube off and on, and I'll let you know how things are going. So I'm going to prepare, finish my walk another half hour or so in the heat. But you know what? I'm thankful I could do it. You know what I mean? So God bless. As I've always said, keep your promises. It's very important. Be a person of integrity. Be a person that keeps his promises, fulfills, you know, life. Enjoy your life. You only get one, you know? So God bless. I'll talk to you soon.